So, Tank Davis with a impressive knockout win over Frank Martin. And the big takeaway from this one is, surprise, surprise, Tank's power is incredible. Like, from the 6th round on, you may as well have been playing the Jaws theme because it just felt inevitable. And he was losing on the cards. Like, he had lost pretty clearly the 4 of the first 5 rounds anyway. But then he just started walking down. He started figuring out what he could walk through, figuring out how he could walk through the other stuff, how to avoid everything. He had downloaded all the information and he was ready to get going, and get going he did. It was just so impressive to watch once he realized what he needed to do and how he needed to do it. It, like I said, there's no other word to describe it than it felt inevitable. Once he did get the timing of Martin's jab, that was the real key, and you could see it coming. Like I said, 5th, 6th round, the jab would come out, and he would hit him with an uppercut, or he'd come around it quickly with a left hook that would get quite a bit of pressure going as well, and that. I feel like that was when the counters really started to land and he really started to get going. And then he seals the deal with an uppercut that absolutely stuns him, and then a left hook that is just curtains after that point. They did the 10 count. They didn't need to. It was just DUN done at that point. There is very little like it in the smaller weight classes. It is now 30-0 with 28 wins by knockout. And like some of it, it's not like it's just like a bunch of volume and the official steps in. It is game-changing, fight-altering, ruining your life power that Tank Davis is bringing to the table in the most just ferocious of ways. And he has that ability and then all of that destruction that he is able to bring, and he's smart about it as well. Like, this isn't just a lucky power puncher or a brawler or anything like that. This is someone who is going in, reading what his opponent is giving him, understanding how his strengths can counter off of that, and then going out there and just obliterating people. It is a delight to watch Tank Davis do what he does. He assesses how the fight is going, what openings are there, exploits it, and does it in a big-time way. And the one opening that Martin really left, it wasn't the jab, because I liked Martin's jab, and we'll get to what Martin did right in a little bit, but Martin fought a really good fight, and I was impressed, but he did leave one opening that was consistently there for Tank, and they brought it up on the broadcast. He was consistently getting caught up in the corner. Early on, the Ghost nickname was accurate, right? Like, he had really good footwork to kind of shimmy his way out. He would then start to throw as he's circling out to create a bit more space for him to be able to get it out of the corners. But eventually, again, he started to get stuck more, and he started to get stuck more, and it was taking a little bit more to get out, and taking a little bit more to get out. And then finally, Tank just fully cut him off in that 8th, where he's trying to circle back around. He's continuing to circle to his right side, and as he is circling around there, Tank just comes over and cuts him off. And at that point, like, there's a right waiting for you if you try to cut it back this way, or you're stuck, and then it's boom with the uppercut, drills him with the left, and it's finished. Again, it is reading how the fight is going from Tank Davis, understanding where his skills now can line up to a point of pure destruction, and he is able to capitalize off of it. Again, just chef's kiss from Tank Davis. Just really, really strong stuff that he was able to do, and really kind of make Martin into a bit of a sitting duck. But really, like, Martin has a lot that he can be happy with coming out of this fight. He did what he was supposed to do in the early rounds, right? Like, he was going out there, he was winning rounds, and he was setting it up in a way that boxing purists are going to love. He was using the jab, which is wildly underutilized in the sport of MMA, but is underutilized as well a little bit sometimes in boxing. But he was setting everything up coming off of that jab, and he was using it as a weapon, he was using it as a defensive tool to get out of the corner, and he was using it to set up combinations. He was doing all of those things really, really well. It was just getting caught up in the corner, and I think misunderstanding why he was able to get out of there before. I'm not saying Tank was letting him out of the corner, but whether he slowed down, whether Tank figured it out, or probably both, he was just getting caught up a little bit too much, and that ended up costing him. But he did a good job overall of avoiding the power shots from Tank until he didn't, and landing some more of his own. His technique was really, really strong. You love the jab, you love how it set it up and all of that. He's just not on the pound-for-pound top 10 tier. Like, I think Martin will give a lot of lightweight fighters quite a few problems and present a lot of challenges to a number of very, very talented fighters. It's just Tank Davis isn't one of them. Another thing that Tank did well, just kind of bouncing around all over the place here, but another thing that Tank did well, his body work I thought was quite good, and that I think started to lead to some of the slowing down for Martin. There some power shots were landing to the head for sure, but what Tank was able to land consistently in the early rounds was some stuff to the body, and again that investment slowing Martin down. But for Tank, it was a 14-month layoff. Self-imposed to a certain degree, as he did wind up in jail. But the talk this week about how he has matured and how he has grown, I can't speak to the man personally even a little bit, but from a boxing standpoint, that was a mature, grown performance and a really, real strong stamp that, hey, I'm this guy. Like, I don't know if we'll do pound for pound tomorrow. I still don't see a way where I can get Tank any higher than I had him before. But he deserves to be in the conversation. And I can't wait to see what's next for him. We'll do Fights to Make coming off of this, coming up on Friday.